Hey guys, you're watching Absolute Geeks with me, TJ Tech, and today we're going to be looking at the HTC U11. As you may know, HTC recently launched their latest flagship, the U11. I got to test the phone out for over a week, and there are definitely some issues with the phone, but that's only once you've looked past all the amazing features. So let's get into it. So let's start with design, and if you've seen anything about this phone, you would know that this phone is gorgeous. This phone has a beautiful reflective surface at the back, which might be a fingerprint magnet, then again, which phone isn't? HTC says that they use optical spectrum hybrid deposition to get this reflective finish. Finally, someone is using optical spectrum hybrid deposition. Yeah, I clearly don't know what that is either, except that it makes the phone look delicious. The phone looks a bit bulbous to me, looking bulgy from the sides. However, there is a reason for that. More about that later. HTC still includes that lovely rich power button. I know it's a small feature, but honestly I think it's a good design feature and I love that they have left that in there. The buttons are also nice and clicky with good tactile feel. Overall, good build. The camera bump is almost non-existent, and the way they went about styling it into the back, it looks really good. Good job, HTC. Every aspect and element of the back of the phone works beautifully together. The disappointing thing about the phone is that the front doesn't complement the back of the phone. The curved glass looks good, but the phone has some pretty big bezels, the forehead and the chin. And before you go boom, let me talk about the audio of the phone. The reason the phone is bulbous and with relatively big bezels is because of HTC's boom sound. Now usually that would be a good thing, but that would only be the case if the sound was really earth-shattering, which it isn't. Don't get me wrong, the sound is pretty good, but it's not the same as the great boom sound of old, and it surely isn't stereo. Because like the HTC U11, the top speaker that faces you is very low, while most of the audio comes out from the bottom speaker pointing downwards. Having said that, the bottom speaker is really loud and surprisingly good. HTC achieves this by using the inside of the phone as an acoustic chamber to amplify the audio. This means that you can actually use the phone's speakers to listen to audio with a small group of friends or in a small setting like maybe a gym. It's loud enough to be heard with decent clarity. Unfortunately, it's easy to block while gaming, and when you turn up the volume, the sound tends to be a bit tinny and it loses out on the lows. It doesn't seem to have the punch of the bass. So I'm not sure the bezels are a good enough trade-off for non-true boom sound. Moving away from the speakers though, the HTC U11 comes with a pair of what HTC calls U-Sonic headphones. And just like the U11, these headphones along with the phone can customize the sound based on your ear canal. I did give this feature an extensive try, and it sounds amazing. The customized sound was fuller, punchier, and I could hear the notes so much better. The headphones also boast active noise cancellation, which again would be great, except that it didn't really work for me. I turned it on and off and heard almost no difference in the noise disturbance around me. So I think it'll eliminate some noise in a relatively quiet office or home, but it adds practically no value in a noisy environment like a train, metro, tram setting. I tried it in both environments, and thanks to the personalization, I was ready to give up on any other headphones altogether, but they weren't really noise cancelling. If you had the chance to use these headphones, I would love to know what your experience is, because I believe they're bound to be different based on the shape of your ears and your choices. Now, you might know that the HTC U11 doesn't have an audio jack. Now, of course, HTC has a USB-C to audio converter. If you notice, the audio converter is quite a lot bigger. This is because HTC has included it this time with a DAC, which better helps amplify the headphones. Of course, I tested this out, and my headphones performed really well. It performed really well in lots of other gadgets as well. Lots of other types of headphones and speaker systems and things like that. It would be cool if they included it in the box. Oh wait, they do! Haha, good job HTC. So moving on, let's look at the camera. HTC U11 rocks a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera with laser autofocus and an f1.7 aperture. The rear camera does have optical image stabilization, or OIS, and if you know, one of the most bragged about things with this camera is that it's got a 90 DxO Mark score. With that, it beats out the likes of Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy S8, and the iPhone 7. So on paper, it's very good. I had the chance to test out the camera and the experience was great. The camera app has a cool pro mode and even shoots pics in RAW. The low light capabilities were surprisingly good and it shoots video in up to 4K. Now the camera might be a bit slow, but it's just really good. I had no problems with it whatsoever. The front-facing or selfie camera is 16 megapixels, but it doesn't have the option to record in 4K, nor does it have OIS, and it's f2.0 aperture. It's pretty average. With video recording, HTC implements their 4-mic system that not only gives you more realistic sound when you play back the video, but also does something truly cool with 3D audio. The HTC U11 basically allows you to zoom in while recording the video and the mic kind of focuses along. HTC calls this acoustic focus. This feature actually works really well and honestly caught me by surprise. However, why would you ever zoom? I mean, it's digital zoom and the video just gets blurred. I just can't get behind that. Then again, for people who do zoom in concerts or whatever, this is definitely a good feature. So at this point, you are probably wondering, all this is great, but can we squeeze the phone? Well, if you aren't, then maybe you should, because with the HTC U11, HTC has introduced a whole new way to interact with your phone. You can do things to your phone by squeezing it. Seriously, HTC has launched something called AdSense, which allows you to squeeze your phone and do things like open up Google Assistant or launch the camera. And beyond this, it can also do sub-actions with an app. For example, in the camera, it can take a picture or flip the camera from rear or to selfie or vice versa. This is a really innovative idea and really shows that companies like HTC are still trying to push the envelope and do new things. AdSense has basically two actions, short squeeze and long squeeze, and unfortunately it doesn't have any kind of soft or hard squeeze level options, which I think is a bit of an oversight. However, I feel that HTC probably did this because they have a squeeze level customization. So in the settings you can basically calibrate the way the phone works and the level of squeeze that you want to give it. So if you don't want to put a lot of effort, then you can do a light squeeze to activate the function. It's actually quite nice. I feel like the setting is better left in the lower half, closer to the lowest setting possible. That's the best. That's the one that worked for me the best. Personally, after using the phone for a week, I kind of almost forgot about AdSense. Until I realized I could use it to take screenshots, which is something that I actually do as a developer quite a lot. For the camera, I was always afraid that the pics would turn out blurry. And yeah, the pics sometimes did, but that was mostly because of my shaky hands and more in the front-facing camera. So I'm not sure if this is an AdSense thing. HTC kind of manages the shakiness by giving the phone a short delay from when you squeeze and when the picture is taken. And thanks to the OIS for the rear camera, those pictures turn out really good. But then again, I do believe that this feature is more about taking selfies, but honestly, it was kind of hit or miss for me. Maybe that's because of the way I hold the phone or something, I don't know, it just never got natural for me. Cool feature for sure, but other than screenshots and specific app launches, it's not all that useful just yet. HTC at the pre-launch event did hint at a companion app for AdSense that would potentially get integration with third-party apps, but I couldn't get any more detail on this, so let's stay hopeful. The most practical use for AdSense is in the winter when you have to wear gloves and want to take selfies. So in these scenarios, AdSense works really well, but that doesn't really apply for all parts of the world, and especially for UAE, which is where I am, this is not really a benefit. So AdSense is not capacitive touch, and I guess for the UAE you can give the phone a sweaty squeeze? A couple of other ways to interact with the phone is via voice. With the implementation of the 4 mics, the U11 works quite well with voice assistants. Thankfully, the phone supports Google Assistant right out of the box and also will be one of the first devices to support the proper and full-fledged version of Amazon Alexa. Unfortunately, this will not be available in all markets. Alexa launches in USA, UK and Germany and in English and German only. This is both great and disappointing. Hopefully it launches soon for UE as Alexa boasts some great integration with home automation via Echo. Still, the support for Google Assistant is a big bonus, and HTC even lets you customize the AdSense feature to activate Google Assistant, unlike some Samsung other people that we've heard of. The screen on the U11 is a 5.5-inch display with 1440 by 2560 resolution, and it does really well outdoors. It's got good brightness. Obviously, in a flagship phone, you won't really expect anything less than this. If you've seen any of my videos before, normally a screen like this would be a massive battery drain, but surprisingly the battery holds up fine. The battery in the U11 is a 3000 mAh battery, and initially this small battery size kind of put me off, but as I mentioned, the phone actually holds up really well. I have a feeling that one of the reasons for this is better heat management, because unlike the U Ultra, which got hot like even in basic use, the U11 just doesn't seem to get hot at all. I mean, even while playing games, it just was perfectly fine. Maybe it's also because it's got better hardware software optimization or the latest processor, whatever it may be. On extremely light usage and scarce usage, I was getting about 2 days of battery. On average, I was getting about a day's worth of use on the phone, but on heavy days, the battery would drain pretty quickly. However, thanks to the phone supporting Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0, the phone was ready to go in about 30 minutes for the rest of the day. I even once used my supported power bank, and the phone charged up really quickly. That was a win for sure. As far as performance goes, the U11 rocks Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 835 chip, and that means the phone is extremely fast. It can handle multitasking really well and barely misses a beat when it comes to gaming. The performance, headphones, the screen, all that makes for a super fun gaming experience. A processor like this is what you need to be able to power apps that can fully utilize the screen like that. And thanks to its good power management, the phone is pretty efficient. Some other features of the phone is that it's IP67. This means that the phone can survive a drop in water and the dusty UAE weather. Unfortunately, I didn't get to test this, but HTC boasts about how the HTC EdgeSense Squeeze feature can also work underwater. Again, it's not capacitive, so it should definitely work. I'm sure this is fine, but as always, don't take your phone swimming no matter how waterproof a company claims it is. Their warranty is probably not going to cover it. So as far as the HTC U11 goes, it comes in two variants. Option 1 is the 64GB internal storage with 4GB of RAM. Option 2 is the 128GB internal storage with 6GB of RAM. Now option 1 is going to be the only official version for USA. Option 2 is the only official version for the UAE. The device availability in your country may vary, so I'll probably go and check what it is. The phone costs about 2,600 dirhams and is available in UAE right now. The colors in which the U11 is available is Brilliant Black, Ice White, Amazing Silver, and Sapphire Blue. I personally like both the silver and blue colors of the phone, but there's a special solar red color which is coming out later this year, and honestly I have my heart set on that. It just looks so beautiful. So to sum it all up, I definitely like the U11. It's got some amazing features. The phone looks really good, it sounds really good, it performs really good, it's got decent battery life, and you get it with great features, and in fact the price is also pretty good. So those, honestly, the small issues are something that you can just overlook. Overall, the HTC U11 comes as a very good package. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel TJ Tech, where I do a lot of videos like this. This has been my review of the HTC U11.